Everybody right here in your notes? Okay. So far things have been pretty smooth. Little inequalities, little equations, little graphing lines. Now we're going to take something that you've done before, but it was confusing to you once upon a time. It really was. And we're going to try to make it as plain and simple as possible. We'll start with some just basic ideas, and then we'll move into these equation pieces. But it says, write an equation for the line in slope-intercept form. Our goal today is to write equations for lines. So we want to come up with the y equals mx plus b thing. Yesterday, we took y equals mx plus b and other things. We actually graphed, and today we want to come up with the equation. So in this example right here, I have y is equal to, and what I need first is m, the slope. Can anybody tell the slope by looking at this graph right here? What is the rise and what is the run? Up 3 and a run of 4. So 3 over 4x, and then plus whatever the y-intercept is. And where does it cross the y-axis? Right at 3, so plus 3. So by looking at a graph, we can write an equation in slope-intercept form. The next one, again, we have y is equal to, I determine the slope, and it looks like I go 1, 2, 3, so that's a negative 3 because I dropped, and I run 2, and then I put a plus 2 on the end because I head through the y-axis. In this situation, I have a rise of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 3, yep, a run of 3, x, and it's going to be a minus 2. So what's different about the other two? Dad, this one doesn't cross the y-axis at all. And this one's a vertical line. And if it's a vertical line, we know something is true. A vertical line, if you look at the coordinates it goes through 2, negative 1, and it goes through 2, 3. Notice what value stays the same. 2. Is that the x value or the y value? So a vertical line has an equation of x equals, and whatever number stays the same, x equals 2. If you see vertical, a lot of people say, well, that must be y equals because y is vertical. It's x equals because the x value doesn't change. And for the next one, this is a horizontal line. And if it's a horizontal line, it has the equation of y equals, because as you look, the y value is always what? 3. So that's one that people sometimes get confused. Now, when we look at the graph, it's pretty simple. But if we look at the point slope form of a line, that's another way that we can determine an equation for a line. Okay. So as you can see here, my computer erased some of this stuff. I think it says y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Is that what yours says? Okay. So what this tells us, this is point slope form of a line, and what it tells us is that the slope is m, just like we thought. The point that it passes through is x sub 1, so whatever x value sits there, and then y sub 1, whatever value sits there. So when we look at point slope form, we can tell what the slope is and also a point that it passes through. And this is something that we're going to use in order to write our equations for our lines. So we want you to get used to it, okay? Let's look at this first one and identify the slope and the point it passes through. Identifying the slope is usually pretty easy. What's the slope? It is 3. Notice the 3 sits where the m is. But the point that it passes through has an x value and a y value. So the x value is whatever sits in that spot. What value sits in that spot right here? What's that? Exactly. Notice how it's minus x. It's opposite of what you think. It's not negative 2, it's positive 2. See that? And then it's whatever y value sits there. What y value sits there? Positive 4. So slope is 3, and it goes through positive 2, positive 4. A lot of people want to say negative 2 and negative 4. It's opposite of what you think. Okay? So for the next one, what's the slope here? Negative 3 over 2. And the point that it passes through, this is going to be the x one. Is it going to be positive 9 or negative 9? Negative 9. Positive 6 or negative 6? Positive 6. Exactly. Good. I want you right now, with you and your partner, to try this one, and this one on your own. See if you can identify the slope and the point that it passes through. Slope you should have is 1/3, and the point that it passes through should be negative 10, negative 5, opposite of what you think. Any question on that one? The next one, the slope is going to be 5, and the point that it passes through, there's actually nothing for an x value here, so it would be 0. There's no x minus or x plus, so the x would be 0, and the y would be 1. And for this one, the slope is negative 3, and the point that it passes through is going to be positive 4, negative 2. Any questions on those three that I did in green? Then the last one, the slope is 5 over 7. What's the point that it passes through? What's the x value? The x value is negative 8. Notice there's nothing adding or subtracting from the y, so therefore the y value is 0. Okay? So we're going to use that to be able to then write an equation for a line in our slope-intercept form through the given point. We're first going to write the equation in point-slope form, and then we'll place the equation into slope-intercept form and graph the line. So I'll unpack that for you. We're going to take the slope and the point that it passes through, and we're going to write an equation in point-slope form, or y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. On the test, I will give that to you. You don't have to memorize that. Is that fair enough? Okay. So, obviously, I'm going to have a 5 where the m goes. Okay? And I'm going to have a y and an x. If it passes through 3, 4, is it going to be y minus 3, y plus 4, y minus 4? What's this part going to be here? Very good. The y value is 4, and it's a minus 4. Now you can understand why we did the exercise above, so we can predict that piece. And then it's going to be x minus 3. Okay? That's point-slope form. It says then place it into slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is where we solve for y. And in order to do that, all we have to do is distribute the 5. Y minus 4 is equal to 5x minus 15. Add the 4 to both sides. Y is equal to 5x minus 11. We can graph that. Negative 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Go through the x-axis somewhere down there. Sorry if that runs off your sheet. And then we have a slope of 5. So up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1. I kind of like to get a feeling of whether I did the problem right or wrong. It says it passes through 3, 4. Does it look like the line could go through 3, positive 4? I know I didn't draw it perfect, but it does look like it's headed up towards 3, 4. Yeah. So that's a good indication we did it right. Let's try the next one. Yep. Yep. Exactly. If you did another one, go right through it. What I would like you to do is first see if you can write the equation given those pieces, okay? Take about 30 seconds, see if you can put those in the right spot, come up with the equation, and then we'll distribute, see what you come up with. Okay, pause. Should have y minus 2 is 1/2 x plus 6. Any question there? I distribute the 1/2. Y minus 2 equals 1/2 x, and there will be plus 3. I add the 2 over. I get y is equal to 1/2 x plus 5. Plot 5. I go up 1 and over 2. There you got it. Not too bad, right? So we extend one step further. What is different about this situation? It goes through 2 points. It doesn't tell you the slope. We have a formula for slope, which I will give to you on the test as well. And the formula is, first I'm going to write down y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. The formula for slope is m is equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Now, in your previous classes, you probably took some time to, calculate slope, looking at a couple points. That's a skill that I think that most everybody already has. So we're just going to review that here. But we always come down to this. Every time it says write an equation for a line, every single time we need 2 things. You need slope, and you need what we call a point on your line. So we're going to start there, okay? And we're going to ask Gavin, okay? Gavin, would you like to use the point 3, 4, or 5, 10? It's up to you. 3, 4. So he's going to choose that as his point. You can choose whichever one you want. It'll work out the same either way. Now, in order for him to write this equation, because 3, 4, he knows the 3 goes there, and he knows the 4 goes here. But he needs m. So he's going to have to determine his slope in order to figure out that piece. Well, this is my x1, and this is my y1. This is my x2. This is my y2. We just plug it in there. We have 10 minus 4 is 6. And we have 5 minus 3 is 2. So 3 is my slope. Now that I have my slope, I can go ahead and write it in point slope form. Y minus 4 is equal to 3 times x minus 3. Or y minus 4 is equal to 3x minus 9. Add my 4, y is 3x minus 5. I can plot that. I'm going to rise 3, run 1. Got my line. Part of what they want to see you do as you get to a college level math course is that you can handle problems that involve multiple steps. And that's what's great about this, is it's going to kind of introduced that part to it for us where there's multiple steps to it. So this is the last one we do for today. We want to write an equation for a line that passes through those 2 points. Again, I always start with slope and a point on the line. JC, which point do you want? You want the -4, +3, or the -6, +4? It's up to you. She wants the -4, +3. Great. She gets that choice. It's going to work out the same either way. She's then going to use her slope formula. You don't have to rewrite it down if you don't want to. I'm going to do it just so you all can see it. This is my x1, this is my y1. This is my x2, this is my y2. Yeah. Are you telling me I should cancel? Yep. We are. So when I originally planned it, it was not to be live streamed or anything. It was just the 8th graders were just going to go and say, "Oh yeah, of course it would work perfect." So. All right. So y sub 2 is going to be 4. Y sub 1 is going to be 3. X sub 2 is -6. Minus x sub 1 is -4. Anybody see themselves possibly making a mistake in this situation? Yep, exactly. So the 4 minus 3 is 1. And then -6 minus -4, a lot of negatives there. We add the opposite. -6 plus 4 is a -2. So I'm going to put the negative on top. I always like to put the negative on the top. All right, so we've got y minus 3 is equal to -1/2 times x plus 4. Or y minus 3 is equal to -1/2 x, then a -2. Y equals -1/2 x plus 1. We're going to plot the 1. Go down 1 and over 2. That should be your line. We are going to take time tomorrow to practice this assignment in class. You should not feel like you need to work on this right now. Tomorrow we're going to open class and I'm going to show you a couple examples we're going to practice and then you'll engage in the worksheet, okay? So we're not moving on to a new lesson tomorrow. We're going to be practicing the things we've already done. If you want to do some practice because you think, you know what, hey, I want to try some of this on my own in the worksheet, you can go ahead, but tomorrow time will be devoted for that. Fair enough? Very good.